Working nice. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at a Philips VR6462. This is a short play machine, pretty early on in the front loading machines from Philips, and this one's bought on eBay. It's about £48 I think it was with the postage. It'd been on eBay blinking ages, just for so long, and I felt sorry for it and bought it. Now, I do have a bit of a sort of fondness for these. The video quality was never that great on them, in my humble opinion. But I did actually repair and sell a second-hand quite a lot of these. And they performed pretty well, to be honest. Predates the Charlie deck, which... yeah, still sends a shiver down my spine. They were quite fun. But these are, I would say, considerably more reliable than those laser decks. We'll see. Yeah, so I have cheated a bit. I have already looked at it. Well, I've cleaned it up, basically. It was quite filthy, both inside and out. And I put a new plug on it as well already, because the old one was sort of really very poorly. So yeah, let's crack on. So there it is in all its glory. I used to, like I say, I used to do a lot of work on these. I missed a bit of dust there, but I can't remember. I can't remember an awful lot about these. You can see here we've got some yeah, some mold there, which is not ideal. And this thing's been in the damp. I don't think, when it was originally listed, I don't think it was too bad, but yeah, you can see I missed quite a bit of dust actually, some down there as well. So we'll just have to give that a bit of a dust through again. Yeah, these heads, I mean, they're looking pretty sad, definitely been in the damp. I mean, obviously the mold is a bit of a clue for that as well, and also the front buttons, unfortunately, they've started to rot as well from damp, from moisture. So yeah, a bit of a ding there. Might be able to tidy that up a bit. But what I can't remember is if these have a RIFA in, and I don't know if I can get to it. I should be able to pull this out and then see if I can do this without breaking the tab. Yes, it has a RIFA and it's cracked. So if I turn this on, this would have gone pop. Yeah, so I'm just gonna cut it out, to be honest, at this stage anyway. It's and it hasn't even got the inductors. I assume there would have been inductors across there at one point, or in some revisions. But yeah, that definitely would have gone bang. And you can see what happens to these. They absorb moisture and start to swell, and it just cracks the plastic. Moisture gets more and more sort of in there, sorts them out, and they go pop, and that would have blown its top. In fact, I think possibly might be able to get the top off it. But yeah, so that's good. That was a good call, and certainly easy enough to do. So let's put that back in. Managed to do it without breaking any plastic, which is always good. Yeah, so I'm just going to get out these few bits of dust just while that panel's out, and then power it on and see what happens. Thought I'd just have a look at this controller before I powered it on. I think it looks worse than it is. Oh gosh, it doesn't want to come off. I wonder if I should really be using gloves, because it's pretty horrible. Work it off. There we go. Yeah, not great. Let's give that a clean and put it back on. Okay, so it's got quite a bit of wear on it, but it's tidied up pretty well. So put that back on. And let's get a bit of Silvo on there. Silvo, I hear you say. I've cleaned the heads. And I've obviously not cleaned the heads with Silvo, not the head chips, but I have cleaned the drum with some Silvo, and then cleaned that up, the residue, with the filthy dirty with isopropyl. You can still see those bits and pieces on there, but it's good enough. And the head chips, I mean, I haven't had a close look, but they look okay. I was very careful not to strike them, of course. There's a bit of muck on there, actually. But I just noticed something else. Can you see that white thing there? That's the idler. And you can see it looks like the tyre's off it, which is sort of true. Half of it's on, the rest of it is somewhere else. Where, I don't know. But I do have a replacement tyre. You can see it's smoked a little bit in there, but yeah, it's I think there's actually a modification for it as well, or is it just a fitting? It's just a fitting thing. So yeah, so let's do that next, I think. Can I remember how you do it? Because I know you have to take this off, and I seem to remember you just lift this up somehow. I can't remember though. Something like you pull the side, and it lifts up. And cable's a bit tight round there. Just pull that through a bit. So that cable there actually connects up here. Do remember that, because I remember changing these actually, because they did break. But I seem to remember you do just pull this up, and I could be really doing something very bad, but it does seem to want to come up, because there's two, well, you can see them, there's two bits of metal, so one this side and the same on this side, and I think if you push a blade of a screwdriver in there, you can sort of push this way and it unlatches it. Oh, is that how I used to do it from the front? Yes. I mean, back in the day, I think I used to be a lot more forceful, but these things are getting quite old now. There we go. So, oh gosh. So yeah, I'm just sort of pressing these in, just to push them in enough to release the front loading system. You can see it's got little skatey bits there, so little tapers allow it to slip back on once you've finished. But yeah, that idler thing's a bit second-hand. So yeah, and it hasn't got the well, you'll see it hasn't got the bits of plastic on there. So let's take the spring off, and then this should just lift out. Looks like some of the idler is actually, gosh, don't want to drop too much of that in there. I haven't got much choice. So, and there's a black bit of plastic that sits on underneath. Yeah, shame I had to drop a few bits of plastic down there. Sorry, rubber. Let's get something just to get. It's actually gone like rock hard. It's sort of melted and then solidified. So this has been off. This has been off for a long time, hasn't it? So I wonder when it was working nice. I'm doing all of this. I haven't turned it on, so you know it's possibly a bit foolish, but anyway. So that seems pretty okay actually. The idler and fitting instructions. So substitute kits, idler wheel, 6462, 6463, 6660. I think that's sort of the more sort of chunky one with the big door that flaps down at the right hand side. So remember selling quite a lot of those. DV464. You know, wasn't that a pie? When fitting the replacement, essential to fit the new spring with it. Yes. The items supplied in this kit may not look any different from the originals. They are of improved material, must be replaced as a kit. 2 pieces of plastic sleeving are to retain the spring. It's correct attitude. See sketch. So yeah, lovely. So the springs, that's a new one. That's the old one. So the old one is more curved. This has got sort of sharper radiuses, so yeah, but they don't give you only one of these. So let's put that on. And I seem to remember I used to put a tiny little bit of silicone grease on this, just the tiniest smear. It used to make quite a bit of difference, I think, to the overall running. So I'm going to do that now. So tiny bit on there, put that on the top, and you see there's a little ball bearing in the top. So a little bit there. So I think it goes that way. And then this, you see on the old idler tyre, there's a small groove, and that's where that spring needs to sit. So which it is. And then we've got a bit of plastic, 2 of those. It's going to be a fiddle to put on, I seem to remember. Lovely. So there we go. Probably didn't see much of that, to be honest. But yeah, so the spring runs in the groove underneath there, and yeah, 2 bits of plastic on, hold the spring on. I think it's probably if the machine goes upside down for any reason, to stop the spring from drifting, but I don't know. So I'm going to give this a bit of a clean because it is a bit mucky in there, so I'll do that, and then we'll put the front loading system back on, and then we might just get round to powering it up. Let's crack on. Okay, so clean that up. Yeah, it's a tape-in switch, so I should just be able to I think just push this onto the appropriate rails either side, and you've got to hold these back. Let's get them started, and then I think, do I just let this go, or do I just push it? I push it down, don't I, and then a little bit, and then push it down, and it should, I think, latch back in. So I think that's right, and then just push the flap. Not very good at showing this, am I? So yeah, but there we go. Seem to remember sometimes these quite benefited from a tiny bit of silicone grease as well, but anyway, we'll see. Yeah, let's power it on, but I do need to, I'm intrigued to see what's in this battery. Let's just try that. See if there is anything in that battery. I will be amazed if there's even an ounce of energy left in that battery. 0.1 volts, so that battery might actually be okay. I don't think it's ever been changed. No, it's original solder, so oh well, it's could be interesting. Okay, so let's plug that board back in, and the usual Philips thing of having lots of labels floating about. The glue fails on the labels. You get that a lot with the V2000s. Certainly a bit of a nod to the V2000, you know, the last generation to come out from Philips. Very similar style of machine. Not bad at all. So here we go. Oop. Okay. Right, so we've got bad grease. That's probably going to be underneath the deck. So, Cass. Yeah, so nothing stored, of course. So the idler isn't working. So we've got no caps down either. Oh, that's not actually even properly locked. Oh yeah, it's stiff, isn't it? It could be worse, I suppose. Well, it's starting to come alive. Well, okay, I'm fairly happy with that. Yeah, I don't know quite what's happening there, because the idler's moving, it's just not driving the spools. Whether the brakes aren't being released. It sounds like they are, I can hear them. Yeah, they are. And it's detecting. Ouch. I forget every time with these machines. They're controlled by an optocoupler, the servo, and every time I manage to slice a finger on this bit of plastic. I did actually once knock it off. I've never broken it, but I knocked one off once. Absolutely bonkers, but ooh, they hurt. So I'm going to try. A shame I put the front loading system back in. I'm going to try just putting a little bit of lubrication on the pinch roller arm there. So you can see it just down there, and just see if that improves. Well, I might have to take it off. I seem to remember I used to have to take them off because they used to jam. But display's coming alive, which is good. I don't think I've ever had a capstan issue with these before, so that's going to be quite an interesting one for me to solve. I assume, well, yeah, it does revolve, so it's not like it's actually jammed or anything, which is good. But yeah, okay, let's crack on. Okay, well, this is a bit weird. I haven't got the two bits of plastic on. I've taken those off. I thought I'd just try the old spring, and it makes no difference. Just out of interest, really. But yeah, you can see it's trying to work. You see the spring there making the twanging noise as well. It's quite funny on the camera. But it's just not quite. Engaging. I can't remember why that is. If I press fast forward, I think the spring pops off. It's just not quite there, is it? I can't remember why that happens. I know the spring's properly engaged as well on the bottom of the idler, so that's not the problem. But yeah, anyway, I'll figure it out. Powered it off and powered it back on, and it's remembered the time, so that battery is actually okay. That's really cool. So let's just give it some light. Might be able to see. Another thing I'm wondering, I've got this remote control. It's not the right one for this machine, I don't believe. I can't remember what the remote was even like for these, because I seem to remember like a narrow black plastic one. But they all seem to do something. I don't know, because there was eject as well as an option on them, I seem to remember. But anyway, I'll stick some batteries in and just see if that works. Okay, well, here goes. I seem to remember you've got to be at a bit of an angle. I don't know what's going on with that pinch roller. Anyway. Oh, that has actually engaged. It's just very slow. It's sort of getting there. Sounds horrible, doesn't it? Okay, well, that sort of works. I don't think it will have all the functions, but we'll give it a test, I suppose. When we finally get the machine up and running, if we do. Oh. Will the channels work? Oh. Does seem a bit, oh, it's probably getting a bit flooded by, yeah, it's getting flooded by the camera IR. Okay, well, yeah, I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front loading system out altogether. So just undo this, unthread it, unplug it, then we'll turn the whole machine over, take the bottom cover off, have a look. So yeah, let's crack on. Capstan motor, head drum, the various functions here, logic I suppose you'd call that, reel motor, solenoid. So I think what I'll do is clean up all this grease and I'll put some fresh silicone in there. Yeah, this is probably what's causing the problems with the have I got that right, with the pinch roller? So yeah, there's probably a problem with the, well, I don't know, it should be okay. Yes, okay, I'm just trying to remember. So let's give this a clean. A bit like trying to remember, to be honest. Gosh, that grease has gone terrible. Oops. Okay, well, I think I can run this upside down. Let's find out. Okay, so press play. So yeah, that grease is running in well and truly. There we go. So it's this gear here that seems to be, well, it's either this one or this one on the actual motor itself. It seems to be, you see it's spitting grease out everywhere. but I want it to do that, so I'll clean off the excess, and but it's well and truly running. Yeah, that does seem to be running a lot better. Now, in theory, I should actually lift this up and clean underneath as well. Whether I'm going to do that, I don't know. I should really. But it's running fine. From memory, I don't think there's actually an awful lot that runs underneath this. I do seem to have a vague recollection of taking this off. So undo that. Shall we do it? We have a timing hole there. So it's in stop mode. I think if you take this off, there we go. Bit bodgy. And that I should be able to lift that off. Maybe. Yeah, I think I have to take off clip here as well. I thought it lifted out, but it doesn't. It's actually attached. Trying to be careful not to distort the metal beneath it. I really need to get a proper tool to do this. There we go. What am I missing? Nothing. Just being stiff. There we go. And then give that a bit of a helping hand. So why do I think this is a bad idea? Gosh, that's stiff. Okay, yeah, so I will give this a clean. Yeah, so that's for I think that's for the front loading system. But it's no bad thing to give this a good clean and just get that aligned back up. We've got bits of the idler in there as well. So let's get those out. And this here as well. Not sure what that is for... Oh yeah, that's part of the lacing, I think. Yeah, so I did grease that up, but it's, yeah, that's running in nicely now. So okay, I'll clean this up and clean that washer up as well, and give it a grease, and we should be good. So we're pretty well cleaned up, but I've just remembered there is a spring here, and this is actually a removable portion. It's sort of that locates into the gear, and you see it moving there. Oh gosh, that's made a difference. Wow. Let's get rid of the excess. This stuff is brilliant. It's it'll cling, so you can wipe off the excess, because you just obviously don't want something that fluid floating about, but my goodness, that's made a huge difference. So let's try this again. That's as fine as it will go. I think that needs to be in right in, and that needs to be clean. Needs to be there, doesn't it? Push that in too far. Alright, let's try again. Only thing, I'm going to have to look at the manual and try and work this out. I remember doing this back in the day, but I just can't remember. It's such a long time. So yeah, I'm going to have a look at the manual. It's all back together and timed properly. Yeah, the grease was really rock hard in some places, just absolutely solid. So I've cleaned it off best I can. There's a few bits and pieces left, but they're not going to cause a problem. I've re-greased. I was struggling to get the gear back on, and that was down to what I hadn't realised in cleaning it. So I'd knocked it into semi-laced. So I just pulled the guides back to make sure it was properly back, and then it went straight down. This for the front loading system goes somewhere around here. It's almost as far in as it will go, and then the other portion, so you can see sort of some of the mechanism for there, that goes right back to the center as well. It just sits back down. Then obviously put on the pinch roller arm, and I thought I'd lost there's a little metal peg on both, actually, both for this and for this, which can come off. And I thought I'd lost it, but no, it was actually just in a ball of grease. It's just terrible. So yeah, so I cleaned all that up as well, cleaned all the grease up, put some more grease on. So it's the clear silicone grease, which is probably why it doesn't look that greased, but there is quite a bit. You see a bit of it there. So yeah, let's power it on. So yeah, it's fine. So I should be able to, well, I suppose I can put the bottom cover back on. Yeah, so I'll do that. So I thought I'd just have a look at the idler problem. You can see I've sort of got it going. The tyre on the new one was actually on the way out. It was pretty just not that great. You could feel the rubber was not going to last that long at all, and it was just slippy. It's sort of started to go hard as well. So I had a look through and I managed to find these. There's a name from the past there, if you ever remember. So yeah, I actually had a few. So I've put a new tire on the other one as well. And I'll keep that as a spare. Yeah, that's actually really good. But I think I've got problems with grease on these as well, and they could do with a clean. So yeah, let's just pull that, and they're little plastic clips, but one of those things that's they're easy to put on, not so easy to get off. I just broken that one. I haven't. Oh, I've just spotted. Probably I've done that, haven't I? Just spotted this spring. It's floating about. But yeah, we'll put that on it once everything's back together, or taken apart. I'm sure there's a proper tool for doing this, but I certainly don't possess it. There we go. Oh. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of hardened grease there. There's like a fibre washer. Some description. I don't know quite what that is. And that is actually it. There's no other washers. Okay, so I'll clean this up and put it back together, and we should be good on this side anyway. Okay, so that's greased up. I've cleaned the spool, and I've also just roughened up the surface, the friction surface, with some Scotch-Brite. So let's get the bits of dust from that off, which I'd missed. Leave you a little bit. Put the washer back on, and that should make sure that's locking, which it is. That should be a lot better. And just put this little damper, it's only a damper, back in. That seems to be going more where it ought to be going. There we go. Put it on the middle one. Super. Okay, so see if I can do the same on this spool. There we go. Oh, that was hard work. Right, so I'll do the same with this one. Obviously, we've got the back tension on this, and oh gosh, yeah, it's pretty awful. The fibre washer, and then clean up the grease, and a little bit of grease. Super, so I've done the same, just rough this up a little bit, and then pull the brake back, and yeah, cleared the band nicely. That's secure. Okay, so I'm going to hazard, well, I'm going to err on the side of not being cautious. And put these back on. And make sure I leave enough on them in case I have to take them back off, because it is a fiddle getting these off. And I was actually worried I was going to break the plastic peg, which we could have found a way around, but I'd rather not have to. So as long as it's not fouling anything. So let's give it a go. Fast forward. Yeah, see, it's not moving over far enough for fast forward. It's rewind is fine. Oh, I don't know what quite happened there. I don't quite understand what's happening. Okay. That spring wasn't in the right place, even though I could have sworn it was. Okay, let's press eject. Okay, so let's get the front loading system back on. Oh, hang on. Spotted something. The door opening mechanism's flipped. There we go. I was thinking that is not going right, and indeed it wasn't. Oh, I think that's located. Quite what happened there. I've got to take this off. And that was shot, but just connecting that. To be fair, they do give it quite a bit of cable with the front loading system, which is quite handy. But that should be okay, I think. So, one thing I am sort of forgetting is having any we now have capstan. Wonder what that was all about then. Was that literally something to do with the mechanism not sort of lining up properly or whatever? But yeah, we've got capstan now, so that's good. So I suppose let's try a cassette. Oh, I'll press rewind, not eject. Okay, let's try a wind. Rewind. Oh, I think this might actually be long play. Okay. Sounds awful, doesn't it? I think that is long play though. Okay, well, I certainly need to put some grease on that, don't I? And try a different cassette, but it's a lot better than it was. Yeah, that is actually winding really well now. Okay, well, what I'll do, I think, is I'll have a bit of a play with it. I think I'm going to have to put some grease on that one take-up. It is timed correctly. It's just really fighting against the cassette, to be honest. Pull the tape out. Yeah, I'll get and sort that, and I shall report back. Let's crack on. So I still have two issues with this, and let's just push the cassette in and press play. And you can see it's not properly taking up, but if I press stop, it will actually finish the lace. And there is, if I just press stop again, there is a huge amount of back tension there, which is causing all sorts of problems with it, lacing and obviously excessive back tension. But the other problem you can probably hear is take-up is terrible, and I think I've still got problems with that either. I don't know quite what's going on there, but I think I'm going to have to take this front loading system off again and just see what's going on, and just see what's going on with the back tension as well. I did check the back tension band was in the right place, but what we can do, if I press eject, I have one of these torque meters, so let's give this a try. So you can see what's happening with the take-up. Look at the back tension. That's right as far as it will go. Yeah, I mean, it's right to the end of its deflection. So we have got a serious problem there with back tension. So let's see what we can find. Okay, so front loading system off. So that's laced and loaded and unloaded. So let's press play. It goes into like a test mode. I mean, it's just so little. Thing is it the idler or is it the spool that's making the noise? I think it's the idler. Yeah, I think it is. That actually sounds better. I wonder if it is the spring, you know. That is pretty high. I think it just needs a very slight adjustment. So let's move this back a little bit. Whoop, not too much. They do put a slot in that Torx, which is quite handy. It still feels quite high. I suppose let's eject it and put the cassette in. Probably not the greatest idea this, but anyway, as long as I keep that down, we'll be alright. It's still, it's better, but it's still very high. Right, so it's ejected. I can't quite understand why this is so high. I mean, that's as loose as it goes. And I assume the brake's coming off. Yeah, it is. You can see the brakes coming off nicely. Oh, now that. Yeah, you see that is. Well, we'll see. It's as far off as it will go. Yeah, let's see how that looks. Make sure that's held down. Oh, it didn't like that, did it? Well, it's about 50. I mean, it's much lower. The take-up is crazy. I just don't quite understand why that is so bad. So, to pull the power, and I'm tempted to put the other idler back on. Well, I say the other idler, put the other spring back on to see what difference that makes. So I've put the old idler on with the new tyre and the old spring. So let's just see what this sounds like. Well, it sounds better. That's so much better. I mean, there's nothing different with the actual idler itself. The only other thing I have done is I've cleaned the reel motor. While that's spinning, I'll just give that another little clean actually. I'll probably complain because of the isopropyl, but yeah, it's nicely cleaned. Okay, so let's stop that. Put the other spring back on. Idler's the same. Okay. That is in. Yeah, it's in the slot. That seems fine. Other than it's lifting the lifting it a bit. I just wondered if it needed a clean. It's why I forgot to do it, to be honest. Don't push them in too far. Well, that seems so much better. It's really weird. I don't know why that should make so much difference, but anyway, it has. So I'm happy with that. I think what I'll try, let's try a cassette without the carriage on, and just see how much better it is. Press play. Yeah, see, it's still noisy. Oh, it's a lot better though. These were noisy. I do remember them sort of sounding pretty rough the best of times. I don't know, to my mind that's still a little bit noisy, but it's working. Let's try the torque cassette again. Okay, so here goes. Right, it's got a lot more torque there. A lot more torque. Take-up is really good. It's still a little bit all over the place, but it's partly because of the mechanism as well as the actual meter. About 50 grams back tension. Oh, that's interesting. Motor's just slowed down. Huh, interesting. I wonder what that was all about. There's plenty of torque there. I mean, it's obviously monitoring the current draw to regulate the motor speed. It's just interesting that it gets a bit confused. Oh, there we go. It's to the end of the cassette. There we go. Right, so... of course it will get all confused because I haven't pressed eject. Okay, so let's pull the power and see now what this is like. I'm not going to worry too much about the cabling for this at the minute. go. Lock that. Power it back on. Okay. Press play. It's laced up properly. Doesn't sound terrible. It seems to be alright actually. Seems to be a lot better. So let's rewind it. It's running really nice now. I mean, I think I'm tempted to give this a tiny bit of a dust off. Put the covers on. I'm keeping this machine anyway for now anyway, so yeah, I can revisit it and have a play with it and use it a bit as well. I'd like to use it. You know, it's I've got quite fond memories of these, so yeah, why not? There's one thing I forgot, this clock display, and it's really very mucky. Also the adhesive started to fail, so what I was hoping is I could just lift this out. Maybe the adhesive's better than I thought it was. Yeah, this is actually quite stuck down. I mean, part of the reason I wanted to do something about it is because there's a load of dust in between. And also, obviously there's a bit of sort of smokedness going on there as well. I just would like to have removed it to clean it up, but that might be easier said than done. I'm sort of tempted just to clean either one side down, stuck, and just clean this out and stick it back down. I really did think that was going to be a lot worse than it was. Yeah, I managed to get some adhesive on there, of course. Well, it's a lot better. I haven't taken off the sort of hazing there, but it's not in the display area, so I'm not too worried about that. So that's fine. There was a problem with this as well. This was actually, this had fallen inside the machine, and again this is stuck with some adhesive. I'm sort of tempted to maybe just put a spot of glue on it. Maybe there's a plastic lug each side. This is a strengthening bar, and the lug's missing from this side, but there's also adhesive under here which has actually stuck it quite well. But I am tempted, bit more of that idler tire. I am tempted to just put a bit of glue there and yeah, just give it that extra residual strength so it doesn't fall out or whatever if something's put on top of the machine. So yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, so the glue's about set. I think we'll be alright. Let's just put that back on. Super. And yeah, it doesn't look very bright, does it? Well, yeah, it doesn't look too bad on the camera, but I've got a lot of lights on, so yeah, that makes it look worse. But I noticed the display has gone down in brightness quite a bit. So yeah, so what I want to do next, I think, is just reroute that cable back round. So Just taking the power off. It goes underneath this connector. It just keeps it just that bit tidier. I think it actually goes under this bit of loom here as well, but I'm not going to worry about that. That's fine. Super. So let's give it a test and just start a capture and press play. And yeah, I mean, it's still quite noisy, but it's a heck of a lot better. And you know, quality wise, it's not bad at all. Really not bad. I think if I press auto track, I don't think anything will happen because it's good. Yeah, and I always used to think these machines didn't have great quality video, but that's actually not bad at all, is it? You know, it's and I mean, Philips, they do some really very interesting things. I'm never quite sure if I like them or not, but you know, I have very fond memories of these. I used to sell a lot of these and service them and whatever, and I used to buy these from the wholesale second-hand, of course, ex-rental, service them and sell them on, and they were pretty reliable, resilient machines. And this one's sort of proving to be sort of, well, it's come back pretty well, really. I do have one problem. It doesn't seem to always want to move that idler still. It's still a bit dodgy. Yeah, just really pleased to get it up and running, and it's a real blast from the past. I mean, I'm going to keep this for a while anyway, just because it's, you know, I've got so many fond memories of these. I did manage to clean up the buttons a bit, just use some silvo, but you can still see the sort of speckles. I mean, I don't think they're ever going to really be like they were when they were new, but they're better. And the VFD is, you know, it's seen life. It's quite dull, but yeah, really pleased with this. And you know, if we do like picture search and then back, yeah, which it doesn't like doing. See, I've still got problems with that idler. Yeah, see, it's not happy. I might have to revisit that idler again at some point. Yeah, see, it's just not. Yeah, the idler isn't actually moving properly. There we go. It's still. God, it's not bad for a two-head machine, is it? That's really, really cool. But yeah, like I said, I've still got problems with that idler. Yeah, otherwise, I'm really pleased with it. It's working well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, like and subscribe would be fantastic as well. But in the meantime, I've got loads more interesting things to come up. So hopefully see you in another video. Bye for now.